voices echo in the dark. Mark and Steve ignite the spark.
We are live, Mark.
We are at Fancy Farm.
It is super loud in the background. The crowd is going nuts.
145th Fancy Farm.
The intensity is up, and we got a special guest host with us today, Little Landon Lake. Kentucky Kids Talk. How are you, Landon? Great to have you here today.
Yep.
How was the drive down?
It was good.
It was good.
It was peaceful too.
It was peaceful.
Yeah.
We are about 4 minutes away from the start.
And platform guests make their way to the stage.
They just called the platform guests and the speakers to the stage. That means we are like I said, about 4 minutes away from the start of the political speeches at the St. Jerome's Picnic at Fancy Farm, Kentucky.
It's going to be crazy today. The crowds are going to be booing and heckling and laughing.
Booing.
Yeah, they'll be booing. If
booing.
they don't like somebody, they're going to go boo.
That's
it's
right.
Crazy, yeah.
Boo.
And they'll boo.
They'll boo.
Boo. Some will be boo.
This is that type of event.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
This is and you don't nobody takes it personal.
Yeah.
It's about the back and forth, the give and take.
Yeah, not to mention that the lunch is not bad. You know, we drive 3 hours and you're giving to a good cause. This is a Fancy Farm picnic.
What did you have? You had the mutton?
I had a little bit of mutton and I had some Jeff. Mutton Jeff.
Mutton Jeff.
Just kidding. I had mutton.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I had mutton and I had the chicken. Landon, you had the chicken. What did you think?
It was salty and good.
Salty good, yeah.
Even though salt.
You thought the mutton was a little? Did you say a little sweet or something?
It was like hard and crispy.
Hard and crispy.
So you probably
I didn't like that.
You probably needed something that was more from the center cut. Than better.
Yeah.
I had the pork and I had the chicken. Both were tremendous. The slaw is insane here. But you get all the fixings: corn, green beans. It's a blast.
So let's go down the list here. Ashley Watts is going to be the MC today, president of the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce. You've seen those shirts floating around, but speakers go, and we'll alternate this, but the state representative, Kim Holloway, is the local state representative running, and then you've got State Senator Jason Howell,
Again,
Republican.
The local.
And then you've got
U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, he's going to be here. He's stepping down, so the Senate candidates that are running for the spot are here.
Are looking for his. Yeah, they're running for his spot, which is great. This is not his last Fancy Farm as senator.
Yeah, hold on.
He has. You hear the crowds behind this guy. It's going to be like that the entire time. So we're having a blast here. It's going to be you got to bear with us. We'll probably also have to watch our video and such, and we're getting some making sure we get some good pictures and here things for you for the messenger. So let me finish running the rundown real quick. So you have U.S. Congressman James Comer is here. Of course, this is his district, so of course he's here. And then there's also a Democrat, John Drew Williams is here. I believe he will be speaking at on the U.S. Congressman level. You have the Senate candidates from the Republican Party. I don't see any here on the list from the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party has not shown out very much this year, much at all. So it's almost all Republicans speaking today, with one exception. So you have Senate candidates Daniel Cameron, Andy Barr, and Nate Morris will be here speaking. You have the Ag Commissioner, Jonathan Schell, also Republican, will be here. I see Mitch McConnell's wife here. Oh, there's Mitch McConnell. And then Treasurer Mark Metcalf will end the night. Will end this at the end of the political speeches. And then we're here, Steve. So I saw you getting your pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
I see Mitch McConnell and his wife are on the stage.
Yeah.
As well as I guess most everybody's up there. I see Daniel Cameron's over on the left-hand side.
You know what I don't see is a lot of D's on this list.
There's only one. We were just talking about that.
Drew Williams, John Drew Williams, which is interesting because last year, the previous year, we had, in the previous years, you've seen both sides, but that's
pretty equal for the most part.
Between
It would
an
go back
odd
and
year.
forth.
Yeah, it's when it's an odd year, it's so different. Landon, you were taking pictures earlier. What did you think of the crowd and being out there taking the pictures? What were you looking for when you were using the camera?
Not really much. I had fun clicking and getting everybody's photo.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you see, there's a lot of interesting stuff here. What do you think so far? What do you think of the crowd?
Yeah, it's loud.
It's loud.
It's wild
yeah.
and loud. That's right.
Well, I think the unique thing is that this is the place where you can see democracy unfold. People who want to be actively involved and get to know the candidates.
Uh-oh, you hear the noise, you hear the sound, you hear the music starting, the thunder.
Go and see everything unfold that's politics. I would tell you that this is the "Oh brother, where art thou" of the community.
So we were just talking about Mitch McConnell. His wife is Elaine Chao. She's been heavily influential in politics as well.
Yeah.
Having multiple secretary positions and things like that for different presidents and things.
Yeah.
And so she is a big help and a big force in his political career.
Yeah. It sounds like we're getting ready to.
It sounds like it's happened. Everything in front of us has just gotten crazy. The press is everywhere, trying to get pictures.
It's so weird because we're the press and we're everything else, but there is a lot going on. If you can't see in the background, I'm about to spin you around so you can see it equally right through the whole crowd. We've got every candidate's group here representing.
They are showing out right now.
Yeah, it is huge.
It is
Huge. What do you think,
Landon, what do you think? Tell us what you think. What do you think of
It's
this?
overwhelming, isn't it? Yeah, it is crazy, huh?
Yeah, I mean it's a lot. There's a lot going on right around us right now.
It's gonna get
so tell me
super
your
loud.
feeling. What's your feeling about what you're seeing?
What?
What do you feel about this? How do you feel about this?
Fancy Farm.
Weird.
You think it's weird?
I mean, it wasn't weird at first.
Welcome to
Everyone
the
started
one and only
screaming.
St. Jerome.
All right.
Yeah, I mean
Let's
it's
listen in.
All right, yeah, let's listen in. We have Stephen
Where the
Elder on
barbecue is
the
hot,
podium.
The sun drop is cold and the politics are even spicier. I'm Stephen Elder, the political chairman of the Fancy Farm Picnic, and on behalf of St. Jerome's Parish and our entire community here in Graves County, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out and supporting this wonderful, time-honored Kentucky tradition. Thank you for the support of our priest, Father Darrell, my friend and mentor, Mark Wilson, our chairman, Andy Hayden, and my son, Baker. And to all the news stations and media across the Commonwealth of Kentucky, thank you for being here and covering our picnic. Since 1880, we've gathered here now for many years on the first Saturday of August for food, fellowship, and a little old-fashioned political fun. What started out as a humble church picnic has grown into truly something special, a celebration of our state, our democracy, and our shared spirit. Politics and political parties have changed, as seen in the crowd today. How many Republicans do we have in the crowd? How many Democrats do we have in the crowd today?
So, hey, you, just for everybody out there, you hear the crowd behind us. They are going absolutely crazy.
And how many
And
independents do we have in the crowd
you're going to
today?
hear more and more of that as the night goes on. You're going to hear it both ways. You're going to hear people heckling. You're going to hear people
barbecue that'll make you completely forget about your party
people heckling,
affiliation.
people
In all
supporting.
honesty, this
It's going to be
doesn't just
insane.
happen overnight.
Let's listen
The
in.
amount of fancy farmers and volunteers who work tirelessly to put this together, especially this week, let's show a little appreciation to the community of Fancy Farm and all of the hard workers. Thank you. Now you all You all have a voice in the crowd today, and I expect you to use it loudly, respectfully, and with a little famous Fancy Farm flair. And now, I would like to invite the Most Reverend Bishop Medley of our diocese in Owensboro to the microphone for our invocation. Bishop Medley.
I want to thank Father Darrell and all the people of St. Jerome for your great hospitality, where you swell the population of Fancy Farm every year with people who are dedicated and good and respectful, right? So let us pray. Almighty and eternal God, you have revealed your glory to all the nations. God of power and might, wisdom and justice, through you authority is rightly administered, laws are enacted, and judgment is decreed. Bless, Lord, the people of this community of St. Jerome and Fancy Farm, who today welcome to their community tens of thousands. May the welcome and food their guests receive here nourish both their bodies and their spirits. May all be greeted here as Christ. Let the light of your divine wisdom direct the discourse of all who would be public servants. Bless them, Lord, for their generosity and willingness to serve in the public realm, and protect them from uncharitable scrutiny. We pray for the President of the United States and all members of Congress. We pray for the Governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky and members of the state legislature. We pray for local leaders and servants. May all who seek to preserve peace, promote the common good and happiness, and continue to bring the blessings of liberty and equality to all who have been created as children of one God in the image and likeness of God. Bless the citizens of our nation, that we may prosper in the knowledge of God's ways and be sanctified in the observance of your holy law. May we be preserved in union and that peace which the world cannot give. Bless, Lord, those men and women who serve our nation, particularly those today serving in conflict. Bless in an extraordinary way all who are called to be leaders of state, of education, and churches, to call all people to sacrifice for the common good as our community, our nation, and the world strives to be compassionate. We trust, dear God, that you are the way, the truth, and the life that will lead us to peace and wellness. Bless and comfort all victims of war. Keep them safe from harm. May each of us be instruments of peace, that the day may come that conflicts need not be resolved by violence. Bless the poor of our nation and the world. And never let us forget, Lord, that these are our sisters and brothers, and the bounty of your creation is intended for all. Lord, let charity prevail here today, that everything we say and everything we do may serve up to build up the kingdom of justice, light, and truth. We speak our humble prayer in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. Thank you.
So that was Bishop William Medley. And next up will be Dr. Joseph Hopkins, president of Campbellsville University, and he will lead us in the national anthem.
Recognize a media giant in our community that we lost this past year, Mr. Jim Moore with WYMC. WYMC has been over here for decades, and we lost him. He was one of the most recognized voices in Mayfield and Graves County. So let us take a moment to celebrate and just applause WYMC and the late Jim Moore for his dedication to our picnic. This year's singing of the national anthem will be Dr. Joseph Hopkins. Dr. Hopkins was named president of the Campbellsville University in February 2022. Previously, he served dean of Samford University School of Arts, and he also was the chair of the Department of Music at the University of Evansville. He founded the Harlexton International Chamber Music Festival, served on the faculty of the Opera Festival de Roma in Rome, Italy, and has performed and recorded in locations around the world in opera, concert, and church settings. His wife, Suzanne, is his favorite singer, and she is here with him as well. He's the proud father of 2 young men, Joseph and Vance, and he is managed by a handsome Scottish terrier named Winston. Dr. Hopkins, the microphone is yours.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That was a great job. Great job. That was great national anthem.
I want to have a special guest and recognize her.
Well, have you ever heard the national anthem done so well, Landon?
Turnbow, who
Y'all can put your hats
won the
back on.
Graves County Fair Pageant this year.
But have you ever heard it done so well?
Even at the state level for Miss
That was really cool.
Yeah, the guy has an opera background.
Yeah.
Very well done for the.
Very well done.
Yeah.
And next, we are going to invite Emily Lamb to come forward and sing My Old Kentucky Home. You want to continue to rise for that as well. Emily is a proud Kentuckian who loves music and loves to use music to connect with her community. She has participated in many productions at our local Purchase Players Theater. She leads worship at her home church, and she is honored and blessed to be a part of this local tradition. Emily Lamb.
The sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home. 'Tis summer, the people are gay. The corn tops ripe and the meadows in the bloom, while the birds make music all the day. The young folks roll on the little cabin floor, all merry, all happy and bright. By and by our times comes a knocking at the door, then my old Kentucky home, good night. Oh, weep no more, my lady. Oh, weep no more today. We will sing one song for my old Kentucky home, for my old Kentucky home far away. Oh, weep no more, my lady. Oh, weep no more today. We will sing one song for my old Kentucky home. For my old Kentucky home, far away.
All right, let's give it up one more time for our two great singers there. All right, I want to recognize our timekeepers. Mrs. Martin and Drake Williams.
All right, so now
here.
that was a beautiful rendition
I
of the
know.
My Old Kentucky Home.
It was.
Kentuckians love their national anthem. They
Yeah.
love My Old Kentucky Home. It is
Patriotic.
all across this state.
Loyalty.
That song is near and dear to every one of us from Kentucky.
I don't think I heard that song before.
Well, that's because you're new to Kentucky.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. So
Now that's the song that's going to play, and we'll have to.
yeah, it's all right. We won't get shut down.
Yeah.
Has been doing this music and sound for us for 25 years.
25 years.
Way to go, Charlie.
Very good.
Charlie.
Very helpful. He's the one that keeps us going.
Yeah, he does. I mean,
we
he's
had
on
our
top of
audio
it
up and running.
Today
Yeah.
that I want to deliver. For over a century, this hallowed ground has been where the mighty speak, the legends are forged, and where the next great leaders of our nation cut their teeth. Let us pause and pay respect. From Paducah to Pikeville, Kentucky has sent its best to the halls of power. And today, we honor a giant of the Senate, a man whose political skill is second to none, whose name will be studied for generations to come, Senator Mitch McConnell. Love him or challenge him, one thing is beyond dispute. Nobody has quite done it like Mitch. He's the longest serving Senate party leader in history. And yes, my friends, a Kentuckian.
He beat out former senator from West Virginia, Robert C. Byrd, in that title. And I remember when
But there may not be anyone here on the platform today that's more divisive in the state.
He's played Risk his whole life.
He has.
Like
he
the
has.
game of Risk and chess. He's a very calculated man.
Very much so. If you read it, if you ever read his book, it's called The Long Game, and it's called The Long Game for a reason.
Husband Algene Goatley, along with Mark and Lori Wilson. Please come forward.
So they are presenting Mitch McConnell with an award for his service to the U.S. Senate from Kentucky. And love him or hate him, you have to appreciate the work that's gone into that and the service that comes along with it.
Yep, I think love him or hate him is the key phrase, but he has served, which, you know, when you serve, you're getting stoned all the time, right? I mean, whether you're doing stoned as in like people are throwing stones at you all the time. You can never be liked by everyone, and you cannot worry about what people think about you when you go into from the front and think about the masses. So it gets very challenging to be a leader.
Ashley Watts was named the president and CEO.
It gets challenging to be a leader when you're you got so many people challenge you as you go.
2019, Ashley joined the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce in November of 2012, and during her tenure as senior vice president of public affairs at the chamber, she led efforts in passing significant pieces of legislation, including felony expungement, right-to-work legislation, workers' compensation reform, unemployment insurance reform, and tax reform. She is a reformer. Prior to joining the chamber, she worked at the Kentucky Bar Association and Legislative Research Commission. Ashley graduated from Campbellsville University with a bachelor's degree in political science and history in 2004. Holds a master's degree in public administration from the University of Louisville. Ashley is a 2016 graduate of Leadership Kentucky, currently serves on the boards of Campbellsville University, U.S. Chamber of Commerce, National Association of State Chambers, and the Louisville Orchestra. She also currently serves as chair of the U.S. Chambers Committee of 100, comprised of the top 100 chambers of commerce in the United States. She currently resides in Frankfort with her husband Ryan and 2 children, Emma and Carter. Please give a warm welcome to our first female MC at the Fancy Farm Picnic.
And so far, the only one that's had walk-up music.
Thank you, Bishop Medley, Stephen Elder, Andy Hayden, and our friends at St. Jerome Parish, and welcome to the 145th Annual Fancy Farm Picnic. I'm Ashley Watts, President and CEO of the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, and I am honored to be your MC this year. And you are welcome for the Chamber of Commerce weather I brought this weekend. Based in Frankfort, the Kentucky Chamber unites business and advances Kentucky and works every day to ensure our competitiveness on a global stage. So I know what you're thinking. Something up here looks different, but what is it? Well, we have a lot of the same politicians from years past, and of course, we are honored to be joined by Kentucky and Grave County's finest, the outstanding members of law enforcement who keep us safe every day. Thank you for your service. But what else? Well, like Stephen said, I am the first woman to ever MC this picnic in 145 years, which I guess makes me the official Fancy Farm DEI hire. I did hear that the AFL-CIO...
And there we go, we're off. DEI is already the first slinger in the show.
And I have to say, I was caught off guard at first and really find it odd that none of the 144 men that came before me warranted a boycott.
Diversity,
equity, and
inclusion.
inclusion.
All kidding aside, this is truly an honor, and I want to thank the leaders of this great annual tradition for this opportunity. Fancy Farm is more than just a political event. It is a celebration of democracy and civil discourse. And for those of us that have worked in and around politics and government, it is the Super Bowl of political events in Kentucky. For 145 years, this picnic has served as a rare and meaningful gathering where Kentuckians come together and make the trek to Fancy Farm to hear directly from their elected leaders and those seeking public office, while having fun, eating great barbecue, and hopefully making a few jokes. This event matters because showing up matters. Through changing times, shifting power, and growing political noise, Fancy Farm remains one of Kentucky's most enduring traditions. Because we can talk about important issues, the future of our Commonwealth, and have the fun camaraderie that is Fancy Farm. And that is something worth preserving. So this is my first time up on the stage, and so that meant I got a lot of advice. Some solicited, a lot unsolicited. And I just want to take a moment to thank all the men out there who gave me so much unsolicited advice. Truly, nothing gets you ready for the job than having political jokes mansplained to you. So I live in Frankfort, which is about a 4-hour drive, but it wasn't that bad. Thanks to the General Assembly and my friend Congressman Jamie Comer, I never even had to leave the 1st Congressional District. Just amazing how that works. So you may have heard, but there is a big race coming up here in Kentucky. And we've got not one, not two, but 3 Republicans vying for Kentucky's U.S. Senate seat. Bless their hearts, they saw the white smoke rise from St. Jerome's barbecue pit and thought this is where we pick the next pope. I mean, Senator McConnell's replacement.
3?
All 3 of these men have spent months trying to get the endorsement of President Trump. As a lifelong connoisseur of chick flicks, Let me put it in terms that you all might understand. When it comes to Trump, he's just not that into you. It is nice to see Senator McConnell and Secretary Chow here with us today.
It sounds like she is representing the Democratic side of things a little bit.
Well, it's usually the first speaker does.
Yeah. The MC is well, the MC is generally from the MC, I believe, is generally from the opposite party of the governor.
That's right.
So I hate to say it, either one of us, but I have not known a Kentucky without Senator McConnell. Serving over 4 decades, that's not just a political career, that's a legacy. And Kentucky is a better place thanks to your service. You know, it's so important to have mentors and leaders who pave the way. And Senator McConnell has been that to so many, even right here at this picnic. We all need and cherish those mentors. Isn't that right, Daniel? Hey, Bishop Medley, do we happen to have an extra offering plate to pass around? I heard Team Cameron may need some help. We also have Nate Morris here today. Nate, since you haven't been in Kentucky for a while, I wanted to make sure that you knew Senator McConnell is not running for office again. Seems like there might be some miscommunication. You can stop using him in all of your campaign ads. He is retiring, leaving the U.S. Senate. Kind of like how Rubicon left the New York Stock Exchange. Oh, sorry guys, there's a wasp up here. Speaking of wasps, Congressman Andy Barr is also here, ready to take on this campaign for the U.S. Senate. Y'all here in Western Kentucky may not be familiar with Congressman Barr, but I've been friends with him for many years. Let me tell you, nothing says MAGA like a Brooks Brothers wearing attorney from the Chevy Chase neighborhood in Lexington. I am disappointed that our
She's got some good ones, though. She does.
I kind of wonder if he says no so often, he can't even check yes on an RSVP card. This time, it looks like he once again joined the Democrats in saying no to Fancy Farm. Fancy Farm has always been a proud bipartisan Kentucky political tradition, but it doesn't seem like the Democrats think so, since only one Democrat accepted the invitation to speak. In fact, the Republicans voted this morning at the Graves County breakfast to change the name of this picnic to the One Big Beautiful Picnic.
That's good.
That's a good
That's
one.
like the One Big Beautiful Bill, Landon. You know what that is, right?
Yeah.
The big Trump bill that Mom always talks
but it
about.
turned out that Robin Webb was going to be the driver. But you know, the Democrats, they've had some hard times. They've lost registrations, seats in the General Assembly, and they've even had to sell their headquarters. I've heard they're turning it into a storage facility, which might make a good place to store all their losses the last few years. Sounds like a winning
I guess it sounds to the other
campaign to
side.
me.
So
Well, you can hear the crowd heckling as he comes in with these zingers.
Mark squeezes a bit in between going to Iowa and his Vogue cover shoot, which is too bad because I have an exciting announcement. At the Chamber, we hand out legislative MVP awards to members of the General Assembly, where they go to bat for Kentucky businesses. They get a beautifully engraved Louisville Slugger bat. But today, I'd like to introduce a brand new award for Governor Andy Beshear, the Gold Glove Award, for catching all the easy wins lobbed over by the Kentucky General Assembly the last 6 years.
Wow. If you want to talk about a zinger, that one
was a good one.
Wow. So this is the fun of the Fancy Farm you got to come for every year just to get the zingers, I swear.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't want to miss anything, I guess.
I thought Senator McConnell had just brought a Secret Service detail with him, but it turns out that intense man over there is just Russell Coleman. Mark Metcalf is here. He's our state treasurer. Okay. We're still not exactly sure what the state treasurer does, but we're glad he's doing it. Welcome, Mark.
Hey, we have a podcast about that.
We do.
We do.
If you aren't tuned in, we've got a great podcast with Mark
That's right.
Metcalf. There's over $1 million in Meade County unclaimed money.
That's right.
I almost didn't recognize him. If you follow
That was for Jonathan Shell.
Yeah.
He's a local
you
guy.
know he's usually shirtless, running some race.
He's actually wearing a Temu shirt that I saw on Temu the other day as I was scrolling through. That's a down-to-earth man right there on a budget.
I am sad that a few of our elected officials couldn't make it today. Did you all notice Secretary of State Mike Adams isn't with us today? Of course you didn't. And I'm sad my fellow ladies, Auditor Allison Ball and Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman, weren't able to be with us. Both have been rumored to run for higher office. Allison may run out of offices to switch to before Congressman Rogers retires. And I heard Jacqueline and Rocky have a high-stakes game of horse to figure out who's going to run against Comer. Let's get to it.
It's like an intro to the gubernatorial race right there.
Like it. That's right.
Also, let's make some noise for the guy running against Jamie Comer.
Oh, nice. Well rehearsed, Zinger.
And for the rules, my fellow Kentuckians. No noisemakers, no profanity, and please, if you are going to heckle, at least be clever. So far, you have only been slightly better behaved than what I'm used to at home with my children.
Nice.
At the end of the day, though, let's remember, we are all Kentuckians. We root for different teams, but we sit at the same table.
Yeah.
All right, enough for me, because I'm afraid if I say much more, I'm not sure I'll be able to keep my day job when all this is over. So let's hear from the folks who came here to really sweat, your elected officials and candidates. Our first speaker is Representative Kim Holloway. Kim Holloway is the Republican member of the Kentucky House representing the 2nd District. She's a small business owner and member of the Christian Church of Christ. Welcome, Representative Holloway.
Well, as we get into it, this is for this local area's representative. It represents this church's area and the footprint. So this is.
I have to say, though, Ashley Watts has done an excellent job starting it
so far.
It's my pleasure to be standing before you this afternoon representing the 2nd District in our General Assembly. I hope everyone has enjoyed taking part in this historic tradition thus far. We look forward to this event every year and are thankful that so many descend upon our end of the state to support the efforts of St. Jerome's Church. I want to extend my congratulations to Miss Ashley Watts, the first female to ever MC at Fancy Farm. I also want to thank the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce for their unwavering support of big business and corporate handouts, which resulted in me setting a record as the lowest scoring Republican ever on their legislative scorecard. I believe the consolation prize is not getting a campaign donation next year. I also want to thank KET for accepting their bribe to quit their whining and head on down here to televise this event. I'm not sure how much it took, but it probably would have saved the chamber a ton of money had it just rented a Prius so KET could drive down here with both of its viewers in the back seat.
Ooh, that was a low blow. See, we first thought there was going to be nobody broadcasting. That's why I was like excited, because you don't get any commercials during our show.
Officials weren't going to come down this year. I believe I speak accurately for most or all of Grace County that our area and our people are relevant and still a part of the Commonwealth even in non-election years. One declined, and I won't mention their name because you probably wouldn't know who it was anyway, but they believe that the stage is reserved for candidates who were on the ballot that year. But I believe the picnic is for anyone who values the contributions of our area to Kentucky and is happy to experience the culture and tradition of those of us who live outside of that golden triangle.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Get out and understand what the people are going through. Get away from the headquarters.
Fancy Farm is much bigger than just people running for office.
That's right.
It's
about the people.
It's an experience. It's about the people, about getting out to see people.
Thank you to each of the
This
public
has a
service
huge turnout. I mean, you can see when you look at us,
Your
just
effort
what's
has
under
been
this
duly
pavilion. What
noted
you
and
can't
is
see on the
appreciated,
camera
and
is all the
we will
people that are
remember at a later
standing.
time.
Yeah, there's almost
Way
as many
about
people.
behind us.
Yeah, there's more people outstanding than there is
Election
actually
year
under
for
the pavilion.
Kentuckians. After 137 years, Senator Mitch McConnell has announced that he's retiring. He is filibustering life no more. The man who made standing still a legislative strategy is finally standing down. Senator, we thank you for your service. On the stage behind me are 3 of the 7 Republican candidates who would like to fill his shell. I encourage everyone to take the time to familiarize themselves with each of the candidates and make a well-informed and unbiased voting decision. If history repeats itself, we will keep voting for him until I'm 87 without really knowing why. I have genuinely enjoyed the first 7 months of my first term and truly believe that I have lived up to my promise to provide meaningful representation to my community. A legislator's job doesn't end on the last day of session if they're doing it right. I had to make some tough decisions this session, but it is easy to return a phone call or an email. It is not only easy to sit and have coffee with a constituent who has reached out to share a concern or idea or ask for help, but it is enjoyable. I'm honored that my community took a risk and elected an absolute nobody who just wants to do her part to make life a little easier for everyone in what is a very volatile land.
She just came in under the wire, so
she was just about to finish up.
She took those 2 pauses, and I thought that's going to get her in the end.
I think. We now will have Senator Jason Howell. Jason Howell is a Republican member of the Kentucky Senate representing the 1st District.
I think
Howell worked as an attorney before entering politics.
this is the local one. Once we get into the Senate, it's going to get heated.
Yeah.
So they don't get much chance. It's like right down to the wire.
Yeah.
Welcome everyone to Graves County, the heart and soul of my 1st Senate District for the 145th Fancy Farm Picnic. Thanks to Father Venters, Stephen Elder, and everyone that made this event such a success. And I guess I really need to appreciate more than anything else, thank you for not giving the MC enough time to recognize the legislative leaders. If I could offer a little constructive feedback, though, I noticed that the lineup over here is a little thin, and I think I can help you out with that if you'd allow me to. I know that I could help you get Governor Beshear here next year. See, I've watched this work all over the state. Next year, you contact the governor's office and you tell them that you have a big, shiny, really big, a big, shiny check full of other people's money for him to hand out and get political credit for. Those scheduling conflicts will go away just like that.
There you go.
That's
a true statement.
That is a true statement.
Big check.
That's what you have to. I mean, when you see Governor Beshear out and about, it tends to be he's handing out money somewhere that the General Assembly has.
Yes, that's been in discussion in the news many times over.
About the Democrats quitting Fancy Farm. In reality, the Democratic Party and its leaders quit their members just like they quit Kentucky. They followed Kamala Harris, Congressman Comer's favorite people, the Bidens, and the coastal liberals like lemmings right down into the sea of political irrelevance. Because they turned their back on Kentucky values, they lack the backbone and the toughness to show up and fight for what they say they believe in. And you know, I guess that's really the core difference between Democrats and us. Like many of you here, I remember coming to Fancy Farm when our numbers looked like that. I won't lie to you, it was tough. It felt like it was Senator McConnell against the volcano of Democratic numbers. I'll tell you one thing, you never saw that man right there hide behind a scheduling conflict for the same reasons that we didn't quit and go home.
Yeah, that's a true statement. Another true statement. People don't like the truth, Mark.
It's too important to us.
I don't understand how that.
I mean,
We hung in there and continued to plug away.
we've seen this,
for the things that matter to
you know,
us.
on whether it
For
was
the
on
protection of
us being here live the
For the
last
things
four
we
or
need
5
to
years
bring our state out of
versus
the dark age of the Democratic
being,
rule.
you know, being
Like
here,
right
watching
and like
on television or what have you.
reducing
Sure.
And you know, that's one thing
In
is
some
that
ways,
Mitch McConnell was
states
here
in Kentucky have never
almost
been
every time.
higher
It was
for election
almost every time
With an election next
unless
year
the
for
Senate
US
was
Senate,
in.
and the following year,
Session.
Was in session and they could not be here. He was here. I don't remember a time that he wasn't.
Absolutely
He was
crucial
here to
for our
speak and
future.
here to be a part
I
of
am
this area.
100% confident that we have the right candidates to fill those spots.
The only year I didn't see him here was the year he did the
Being here, go grab some barbecue and enjoy the show.
the year after the governor's race. That was the one that we didn't see him here, but obviously they were in a session at the time, like you were
It's now
saying.
my honor to introduce Senator Mitch McConnell, who is the Kentucky's longest-serving U.S. Senator. Elected 9 times to lead the Republican conference, he is also the longest-serving Senate party leader in American history. Welcome, Senator McConnell.
And Mitch McConnell is making his way to the stage. He's got pretty much a standing ovation all around. And he's taking the microphone that he's so adept at taking here at Fancy Farm.
Well, this is my 30th Fancy Farm, and I can't think of anybody any place I'd rather be on the first Saturday in August than right here. Back in the old days, there were only a couple of Republicans here, me and a county chairman. Ah, how things have changed. This is what it looks like to have 2 Republican supermajorities in Frankfort. And how about Ashley Watts, our first woman chair? No
So in the background they're yelling ceasefire now, like one politician's going to be able to stop that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
War on family farm itself. Democrats' runaway inflation sent the price of pork through the roof. The Biden DOJ went undercover to intimidate Catholics. And crazy climate change rules made a tough job tougher for all of the Graves County farmers. But St. Jerome's outlasted Democrats' control of Washington, and I'll outlast a church closing governor. This year, there's plenty of reasons to count your lucky stars that America voted like Kentucky did last year and brought back President Trump and a Republican Congress. So think about it. You fired the Democrats who created the worst border crisis in history, who thought we'd just get used to record high illegal crossings and unchecked fentanyl. You hired Republicans who actually believe in the rule of law. And what happened? Border crossings are at an all-time low. You told the Democrats who went on a reckless taxing and spending spree to get lost, and you hired Republicans to deliver one big, beautiful bill, which made the tax cuts permanent for Americans and small businesses. You said enough with Joe Biden's weakness on the world stage, enough with embarrassments like his retreat from Afghanistan, enough with second-guessing allies like Israel. And you hired Republicans to stand up to our enemies, stand with our friends. You hired a president to restore peace through strength. Joe Biden was afraid of Vladimir Putin. He let an old KGB thug literally get in his head. But President Trump knows who the bad guys are. Russia, North Korea, China, and Iran. Joe Biden was afraid of Iran. When their terrorists attacked our troops and our allies, he simply put up with it. But President Trump got no time for that. He turned Iran's nuclear program into a pile of rocks.
So the ceasefire now, people are back there screaming. They're not screaming now. They got out screamed when he talked about turning Iran's nuke program into a pile of rocks.
And to keep helping Ukraine fight Putin. I told him he made the right call. This is how you restore peace through strength. America is stronger and safer with Republicans in charge in Washington. Republicans like your great Congressman, Jamie Comer. If you think America deserves answers and accountability for Joe Biden's nonsense, I've got good news. Chairman Comer and the Oversight Committee are getting to the bottom of it all.
Well, it sounds like we're uncanning the worms right now.
Yeah.
To fight a Democratic Congress, you elected a Republican Congress to actually work with it. Over the years, I've led Republican majorities and delivered all kinds of wins for Kentucky and for our country, investing in Fort Campbell, keeping Pt2 at the center of our national security, helping Mayfield bounce back from those deadly tornadoes, fighting back against the war on coal, and helping President Trump set records and change the Supreme Court for a generation. None of it is possible without Republicans at the wheel. That's why my top goal last year was to make sure our president had a Republican Senate from day one. Well, boy, did we get it done. And Republicans will do it again and again and again. Thank you.
Mitch. Thank you, Mitch. That's, well, you know, for somebody that served so long, service to country is a long forgotten memory to some people. They don't understand that it takes a long time of service to get connected in D.C. to even do anything to represent us.
Yeah,
it's so I'm against term limits in some conversations. So this should be very interesting as we move forward.
We have a coin flip.
Here we go. Who's going to go first? So you've got John Drew Williams.
Okay. I am now going to introduce John Drew Williams. Drew is the Democratic candidate for the 1st Congressional District.
You hear the boos.
Yeah, there they are.
Marshall County resident and a small business owner. Welcome.
All right.
Hello, Fancy Farm. My name is John Andrew Williams, but you can call me Drew. I want to be your next U.S. House representative here in District 1. I am born and raised Western Kentucky. I am a family man with a family business that I've been working in since I was 14 years old. I graduated from Murray State University with a degree in history, and most importantly, I am a lifelong community servant. I am here for you. When the ice storm hit, I helped pull trucks out of ditches. When the tornadoes tore through our towns, I grabbed a chainsaw. And when floodwaters rose, I packed sandbags. When people open their doors, I show up to fellowship, just like I showed up to St. Jerome Catholic Church last week. I am here for you. I will always work to represent your voice, our voice. We can build a new table that invites all of our people back together, to meet them where they are, to hear their stories, and reconnect our community to its roots. And we have to build this new table, because James Comer doesn't give us a seat at his table. He benefits when small farms and communities fail. He raised $7.8 million last year for his campaign, with only 8% of it in the state and 5% of it from you, from our district. You don't have a seat at his table. Special interests do. Corporations, organizations, party leaders, and lobbyists do. Comer has been in political office for almost 18 years. That's as long as I've been working construction, working out with my hands, working in the elements to make an honest living. While he hasn't had a public town hall since 2019, I've been revitalizing Taylor Day in Marshall County, Kentucky for the last 6 years. I've been building up community from the ground level. I've been listening to the people's needs without political power. I even helped serve at Fancy Farm Picnic today. Where is Comer putting in service to this community? I don't see you unless it's to benefit you. He's not like us. Western Kentuckians don't like big money politics or career politicians or people who had to move to gated communities in Frankfort so far away they had to redraw the district. They had to redraw the map so he could live here. And I want to thank Daniel Cameron and Andy Barr today. Y'all bust in your supporters from Lexington and Louisville to help James Comer, because he doesn't know hardly any people here in Western Kentucky. He just peddles rhetoric and hopes that you don't catch on. I'm here to build a new message of hope, and that the people of Western Kentucky have a seat at my table, because I am Western Kentucky. I've been building things here that last. I've been doing construction on the lakes, building docks. If you've been out there, you've seen and appreciated my work. And I've witnessed so many prized sunsets across those waters for decades that has a profound impact on my soul. My farmer and laborer friends out there will attest to that on their own fields and job sites. You know what it's like to be witnessing God's paradise, but you also know what it's like to sweat and toil and be short of breath and have to go home and raise a family as the prices go up and services get cut and our communities feel barren and disconnected. I am here for you. I have been here for you. I've been working in your communities, fighting for your liberties, and uplifting your spaces and your voices my entire life. Heck, I was Abraham Lincoln in my 4th grade play. I was president-elect in my AP government exam. Okay, sure, yeah. Y'all these young people, I did it. And I've had part of more local community organizations over my lifetime than I can count. I got a history degree from Murray State University. Like, where else would you want me to get my education than right here? I think I am ready for the task of representing you, because I am you. Why not send a real working-class neighbor and community servant to Congress to represent you and uphold the Constitution of we the people? We have to come back to the table. We have to make a difference together. We have to quit falling for the words of millionaire politicians of any party as they work to serve their donors and special interests. It's united we stand, divided we fall, y'all, and it's time that we unite and take care of each other in a way that has never been done before. Those are the top benefit when you stay suffering and angry. But I will fight to end the dark money efforts, to ban political lobbying, to build back our rural town main streets, to empower the working class, to secure the economy for local mom and pop shops, and to remove the predatory practices that keep us from the American dream. We have to incentivize personal responsibility and work ethic while making sure that no one falls through the cracks and no one gets taken advantage of or forgotten here in our community. My faith in the teachings of Jesus Christ commands me to lift up all voices and to do good unto others regardless of how they behave or what they believe. We cannot keep praising his name but crucifying his values. We must treat our neighbors as ourselves, to show mercy before judgment, to be understanding and to forgive, to serve and to listen before we speak and act. I do not and will not judge you for having a difference of opinion, because that's what makes this country great. I am here for you. All I ask is that we come back to the table and work with dignity to figure out the answers to these issues that we care about. I want to host debates, town halls, perform courthouse surveys and expert roundtables to get a true idea of where our community stands, because I am here for you. When elected, I will vote based on that community-gathered data, not my own opinion, pushing your voice forward while repeating that I am here for my community first and foremost. You deserve to trust your government. Here is your opportunity to have a true representative democracy. And I don't want to be a politician, I want to be your representative. My name is John Drew Williams, and I'm asking for your voice, and for your vote because I am here for you. Thank you.
Hey, I liked how he had to look down to tell himself what his name was.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. I get that when you're in the speech, especially when you're being heckled, you want to not lose your spot and miss a line. But he didn't get heckled with the music, so he finished timely. Wow, here comes the Comer fans. They are live. So each little group, if you're not here, I know I can't get the cameras on everything, but they're in pockets. They're all assembled together to represent their party, their candidate. You can see them over our shoulder. Yeah, that's the Comer group, and then over our left shoulder is like the Cameron group. But here we go.
There we go.
I love this environment. It's like a regular House Oversight Committee meeting in here. It's great to be back in West Kentucky at the most famous political event in America. TJ and I look so forward to this picnic every year. And it's good to see so many of my friends here at the picnic. My farmer friends, my conservative friends, my U.S. Senate candidate friends, our great constitutional officers, Jonathan Schell, Russell Coleman, and Mark Metcalf. My state legislative friends, and yes, even my friends in the media. You know, it's tough. It's tough being a reporter for a liberal media outlet these days. The press has kind of taken it on the chin the last 10 years. I mean, let's face it, you guys were wrong about the origin of Coben's being in a lab in Wuhan, China. Wrong about the need to wear masks and get vaccinated during COVID. Wrong about the entire Russian collusion hoax. Wrong about Joe Biden's family taking tens of millions of dollars from foreign governments. And wrong about Joe Biden being mentally fit to be president of the United States. But now, you guys are on your newest false narrative. And that is that Andy Beshear is popular in rural areas. Now, some of you are even writing that Andy Beshear can help deliver rural America for Democrats in 2028. Well, y'all obviously didn't grow up in rural Kentucky, and you definitely don't know anyone in rural Kentucky. We folks in rural towns, we have a thing that many reporters and most Democrats have never heard of. And that's a thing called common sense. Here are 6 examples of common sense. Number 1, it's necessary to secure our borders so bad illegals don't enter into our country. Number 2, it's necessary to fund our great men and women of law enforcement so that they can successfully battle crime. Number 3, boys do not have any business playing girls' sports.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. I agree with all that so far.
Boys cannot get pregnant. I'm sorry, they really can't. 5, lower taxes are better than higher taxes. And 6, and this is a big one, if a man is able-bodied, then he should have to go to work like the rest of us. Those are examples of common sense. People in small towns like Fancy Farm have common sense, and that's why they vote Republican. Now, as chairman of the powerful House Oversight Committee that leads all major congressional investigations, I like to use something else that the liberal media apparently has no comprehension of, and that is a thing called evidence. So I brought a little evidence from right here in West Kentucky.
He usually brings the receipts.
Yeah.
Media. Just down the road here, we have 4 Mississippi River counties. Those counties are Fulton, Hickman, Carlisle, and Ballard counties. They're wonderful counties that I am blessed to represent. And you won't find any more rural counties than those 4 river counties. In the last 2 governor's elections, those counties were majority registered Democrat counties. Yet in Andy Beshear's last 2 governor races, he only got 33% of the vote, in those counties where over 50% of the registered voters were Democrats. Now, my friends in the media, if you can't even get half the Democrats to vote for you against Matt Bevin, then good luck against J.D. Vance, Ted Cruz, and Marco Rubio. Next year is a very important election year. We must keep Senator Mitch McConnell's seat in the Republican hands. And speaking of our senior senator, I want to publicly thank him for always coming to Fancy Farm and for being a great friend to West Kentucky. But more than anything, as the one guy in Congress who has fought the deep state and won, I want to thank Senator McConnell for keeping Merrick Garland from being on the Supreme Court. Thank you, sir. My opponent next year is here, and I honestly don't know his name, but he is sitting up here all alone. We know Andy Beshear won't endorse him because Andy Beshear's failed Kentucky Democrat Party only helps Andy Beshear and nobody else. And I'm pretty confident that no national Democrat leaders will come campaign for him. So to show my good sportsmanship, I brought my opponent something from Washington, D.C. It's an endorsement from Joe Biden. Right here. Signed by the auto pen. In closing, we have an opportunity with President Trump. We've secured the border. We've stopped China from taking our jobs. Let's take it to the next level. Let's work together. Let's keep America great again. And let's elect Republicans. Thank you, Fancy Farm.
Wow, he brought the fire. And brought the receipts as usual. Jamie Comer, the 1st District U.S. Congressman.
Yeah. Well, I loved the auto pen joke, Crack. That was great.
That was great. That was great.
This is like the Super Bowl and waiting for the commercials. You know what I mean? You get the zingers and they just pop them out.
Stand and be recognized.
Let's see.
We have First Appellate District Supreme Court Justice Jay Nickel.
Oh, they're doing some acknowledgments.
Court of Appeals Judge Chris McNeil. We have Kentucky Court of Appeals Judge Lisa Jones and Chief Justice Debbie Lambert, who was recently elected by her fellow justices as Kentucky's first female Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Welcome, justices. So now we are going to hear for the candidates running for U.S. Senate. So I would like to ask all 3 of them to come up and do a coin flip.
A 3-way coin flip.
3-way coin flip. Now this is where it's going to get fun, right? Because this is a big race. They had Daniel Cameron and Barr running back and forth on the polls. One's clearly outspent than the other, and one's a grassroots and one's a heavily
This is the first time I've actually seen Nate Morris in person.
What I find interesting here,
I know others are here.
They are. I don't know why they're not in the lineup. Unless they have a new cut line.
I see Michael Ferris's group over here.
I just wonder if they don't have the certain level of polls or something. I don't know, but we're going to get into that and find that answer for you guys and do that in a follow-up. Hey, for all the 58 listeners that are out there right now, you guys give us a like and a share.
A like and a share.
Get it out there. Let it know this is live. We're not doing commercials. You're watching this from our time, just sharing it with you.
Is a little bit more difficult.
But it sounds like we're getting ready to go into it.
Yeah.
First, we have Daniel Cameron. Daniel.
Well, we know where Landon lies on this.
All right. Yeah, I see Landon's cutting up, clapping.
Served as Kentucky's 51st Attorney General. Welcome, Daniel Cameron.
All right, Landon.
Well, thank you, Ashley, and hello, Fancy Farm. I am always proud to spend time with so many hard-working West Kentucky patriots. Ashley, I want to thank you and the Chamber for making sure KAT is here. Who could have known that in a span of just a few short years, KAT would go from covering bailouts to actually getting one? Look, KAT showing up here is more than can be said for the Democrats. There aren't even enough of them to run Joe Biden's auto pen. But look, I understand why they aren't here. They're out searching for a national identity, which is going to be hard to find when they're afraid of being misgendered. You know, it was an honor to stand on this stage last year as President Trump's surrogate to Fancy Farm. This year, I am proud to be here as a candidate for the United States Senate. I'm running to ensure that Graves County and the rest of our Commonwealth has a voice in Washington, a voice that respects the men, women, and children of all 120 counties, a voice that will stand up for your constitutional rights, and a voice that will support President Trump's America First agenda. President Trump's second term has been a victory for common sense and a loss for auto pens and incompetence. From removing violent illegals to ensuring we're not being taken advantage of in trade deals, this president is working for the American people. And now he needs reinforcements in the Senate. In this primary, the people of Kentucky will have to decide between talk and action. For instance, Andy Barr wants you to think he's America First, but it's hard to believe him when he's voted with Nancy Pelosi 1,200 times. And Nate Morris wants you to think he's tough, but when he was asked about his donation in the primary to Nikki Haley over Donald Trump, rather than own up to it, his first thought was to throw his wife under the bus. He said, and I quote, "I got stuck with the bill for a dinner my wife attended." Nate, that's not tough. That's a night in the doghouse. Nate will do anything and say anything to run away from his past. He talks tough about deporting illegals, but the only thing he's ever sent across the border has been his company. You can't stand up for American workers when the only experience you've had with them is firing them. You can't claim to be MAGA when you build a company on ESG subsidies and DEI initiatives. And you can't claim to be opposed to woke ideology when you spent 2020 embracing the same protesters that were on my front lawn. Now, some would say his campaign reminds him of a fart. It stinks, it's unproductive, and it's a sign that the emitter is full of crap. Talk is cheap. We have to be judged by our actions, and I'm happy to put my record up against these two gentlemen any day. As your Attorney General, I stood up to the Biden administration when they tried to destroy our coal industry. I stood up to Andy Beshear when he tried to shut down our churches. I stood up for our kids when he tried to protect them from radical gender ideology. And I stood up to the mob when they tried to bully me into making a decision that was contrary to the laws of our state. And as I think about this race, I think about our boys. Mackenzie and I want them to grow up in a colorblind society, one based on merit and opportunity, not division and handouts. We don't need America built on diversity, equity, and inclusion. We need America built on merit, excellence, and intelligence. We want our boys to grow up in a Kentucky that is free from fentanyl. Nothing made me prouder as AG than helping bring in nearly $900 million to the state to fight the drug epidemic. That's why I want to work with President Trump to finish the wall and to secure our southern border. We want our boys to grow up in a Kentucky that honors and supports our law enforcement community. That's why I'm proud to have the endorsements of over 50 law enforcement officials, because they know I will always back the blue. And we want our boys to grow up in a Kentucky that preserves our rich heritage in coal and natural gas. That's why I'll be a relentless voice for energy independence. Finally, let me address the 800-pound elephant in the room. As I travel the state, I'm often asked, who will help you make decisions when you're a senator? Let me say this as clearly as I can. This seat doesn't belong to any politician. It belongs to you, the people of Kentucky. As I told Joe Biden when I spoke on behalf of President Trump at the 2020 RNC convention, my mind is my own. I'll be a senator focused on the future, not the past, focused on supporting President Trump's America First agenda and delivering for this Commonwealth, and focused on lifting people up rather than tearing them down. I will be guided by you, the people. May God bless you and God bless the Commonwealth. Thank you.
You know, Steve, that was a great speech from Daniel Cameron. Hit us all of his points, showed his support. I think that it's going to be a tough one to follow.
Yeah. In the U.S. House of Representatives, welcome Congressman Barr.
Let's see if Andy Barr is up to the task.
Hello, Fancy Farm! I'm Andy Barr, and I'm running for Senate to continue my work with President Trump to make America great again. I'm a proud husband, busy father of Eleanor, Mary Clay, and Hale, an 8th-generation Kentuckian, grandson of 2 World War II veterans, and an America First fighter who has never wavered in the fight for limited government, free enterprise, and a strong national defense. After defending small businesses in the private sector, I flipped a seat in Congress, fought Obama's war on coal, and opposed big government wherever I found it. I led the fight in court during Trump's first term, defending his authority to build the wall. I authored major parts of bills that President Trump signed into law to roll back destructive regulations on the economy. The very first veto of Biden's failed presidency was his veto of my legislation, a bill that took on the woke environmentalists and protected Americans' retirement from radical ESG mandates. I serve proudly as chairman of President Trump's 2024 primary election in Kentucky, and I'm working arm in arm with him right now to get his America First agenda passed in the House. Now, some politicians like to say I'm a Trump guy. They talk about supporting the president, but I'm the only candidate in this race who's actually doing it day in and day out in Congress. My opponents like to talk about the one big beautiful bill. I wrote it and helped to pass it. Think about it. In less than 8 months, President Trump and I have worked together to close the border, deport illegal aliens, obliterate Iran's nuclear program, restore peace through strength, make permanent Trump's tax cuts, eliminate taxes on tips and overtime, and revive American energy dominance through Kentucky coal. In the United States Senate, I'll continue to be the president's #1 ally. Now, I know our governor would hate to hear that. Too bad Andy Beshear couldn't be here today. I guess he couldn't find the time between Vogue magazine photo shoots and measuring Oval Office drapes. Of course, the liberal media is fawning all over him, but Americans will soon learn what we Kentuckians already know. He's as liberal as he is boring. You know, I'd say anyone could beat this guy, but I wouldn't want to offend Daniel Cameron. Good to see you, Daniel. I think we're going to keep the tradition alive of Andy's beating Daniels. As Kentuckians, we're all profoundly grateful to people who take it upon themselves to right the wrongs of woke liberals, like the guy who had to reverse radical environmental commitments, eliminate racial DEI policies, and correct a bunch of bad decisions that led to financial ruin. No, I'm not just talking about President Trump cleaning up Joe Biden's mess. I'm talking about the guy who had to follow Nate Morris as CEO after he ran his green fantasy Rubicon into the ground and was pushed out of his own company. You know, Nate calls himself the trash man, but dumpster fire is more like it. We all know President Trump is on a winning streak and the left is losing big. Recently, the only people who have lost more than congressional Democrats, illegal immigrants, and the tyrants in Iran are Rubicon investors. Of course, we've all heard Nate profess his newfound loyalty to President Trump. He said the same about his mentor, Mitch McConnell, and we see how that worked out. President Trump better watch his back. You know, Nate Morris was so moved by President Trump, he donated thousands of dollars to Nikki Haley. Nate was so incensed when Kamala's senior political advisor said Trump must be destroyed thoroughly that Nate put him on his board. Nate was so opposed to Black Lives Matter, he praised the actions of the rioters and called for all of us to support them. Nate hated DEI so much that, listen to this, he sent his employees to bias training classes to lose their so-called white privilege. You know, I'm sensing a pattern with this guy. Out here in West Kentucky, we have a name for someone who opposed President Trump, supported BLM, and pushed DEI. A Democrat. But we ought to let up a little. It's been a tough couple of years for Nate. His company collapsed. Nikki Haley lost the primary. Brooks Brothers stopped making his favorite COVID mask. And now Trump is phasing out the penny. How in the world is anyone going to be able to buy Rubicon stock? All kidding aside, thank you to St. Jerome's Church for hosting this incredible event and for providing us an opportunity to make our pitch and have a little fun. Know in me, West Kentucky will always have a friend. From supporting our brave men and women at Fort Campbell, cheering on Murray State in the College World Series, defending our coal miners in Union and Hopkins counties, to supporting nuclear-powered AI data centers in Paducah. West Kentucky will have no better friend this side of Jamie Comer when it comes to supporting West Kentucky in the United States Senate. The Purchase region epitomizes so much of what makes Kentucky special: community, faith, and great food. It's an honor to be with you today. God bless you all. God bless Kentucky.
Well, there you got it. It went over, and he got cut off on God Bless America.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. You could read his lips and see what he was saying.
It's about to get ugly here, though. This is going to be interesting.
This is going to be interesting.
That was a quick brush off. Nate Morris just brushed him off and did not even wait. What I don't like is his wife is missing, or his spouse. Where's the spouse? You know what I mean? That to me is an indicator. Like, if your spouse can't be at Paducah, you know what I mean? Bring your spouse.
All right. I am so glad to see that Mitch McConnell bothered to show up today. But you know, I'm really confused. I thought this was Fancy Farm. I didn't realize this was Bring Your Boys to Work Day. It's great to be with you all. My name is Nate Morris, and I'm a trash man. You know, a lot of people thought I wouldn't show up today, but I would never miss an opportunity to be right here in West Kentucky. I love this Commonwealth. My family's been here for 9 generations. We descended from Morgan County. And the 10th generation, my little man, JR, was born just a couple weeks ago. And just so, I want to thank the folks here at St. Jerome's for such a tremendous Kentucky tradition. When I launched my campaign for the United States Senate, I led with 3 things that I want everyone to remember me by. Number 1, I'm an America First conservative who supports Donald Trump 100% of the time. I'm an entrepreneur who built a trash company right here in Kentucky and took it public on the New York Stock Exchange. And number 3, I'm gonna trash Mitch McConnell's legacy. It's funny, you know, the third one is pissing off a lot of people, but I have a serious question. Who here can honestly tell me that it's a good thing to have a senior citizen who freezes on national television during his press conferences as our U.S. Senator? It seems to me, maybe, just maybe, Mitch's time to leave the Senate was a long time ago. I mean, for goodness sakes, a lot of us here at this picnic talked a lot of smack about Joe Biden and how old he was and how out of touch he was with the American people. So why is it that you all get so defensive when I talk about a man who's older than Biden, just as mentally compromised, and holds the same positions on Biden, on amnesty, Ukraine funding, and his hatred for Trump. Here's another one that gets me. Take immigration, for example. I said we ought to deport all the 20 million illegal immigrants Joe Biden let invade our country. And Andy Barr, he got really upset. He calls me a nativist. He said we need legal immigrants to stay here so they can work jobs for lower wages, taking opportunity away from American workers. You know, I think deporting people who broke our laws is only common sense. But I guess that's controversial to a guy who funded Congress's latest attempt at mass amnesty. I shouldn't be surprised, though. Andy Barr is a fully owned subsidiary of Mitch McConnell, who worked with Democrats to try and pass amnesty, which is an important lesson for anyone voting in this Republican primary. For the first time since I was born, we have a chance to replace Mitch McConnell here in the Commonwealth with someone who's going to support our president in a state he won by 30 points instead of sabotaging him every chance they get. But just because Mitch McConnell's name is not on the ballot doesn't mean his legacy is not on the line. Which brings me to the McConnell boys. If you want to know how Andy Barr or Daniel Cameron are going to act in the U.S. Senate, look no further than their mentor, Mitch McConnell. Both of these guys are very proud to tell you they wouldn't have careers if it weren't for Mitch. Neither of these guys have built anything, done anything impactful, employed anyone, but boy, did they know how to take direction from a decrepit old mob boss. I mean, where would you be without Mitch McConnell? Andy and Daniel, you know, today might be the perfect day to break some real news here. Perhaps you could both show us the seat of your britches so we can finally understand where Mitch McConnell's hand goes. Daniel, I gotta be honest. It's really good to see you doing what you do so well, sitting on the bench and watching the action play out. A few years ago, right here on this stage, Daniel joked that Mitch McConnell was his wife's grandfather. Well, I've got some breaking news for you all. I just received the DNA results, and it turns out Mitch McConnell is not your wife's grandfather. But in fact, Mitch McConnell, Daniel, is your daddy. I don't know if you saw, but President Trump recently commented about what an absolutely stupid, brainless idea cashless bail is. Don't worry, Daniel. I'm sure.
I honestly think that's kind of a turnoff when you hear that.
Yeah, that's more of a.
And I'm sure
it's a little bit further below, too low for that.
Surprised he didn't get thrown off when he said a cuss word earlier.
You managed to choke like a dog and lose the general election to Andy Beshear in our Commonwealth in a state that Trump won by 30 points. And then we have Andy Barr. To sum up the internal battle for Andy Barr, I would say this. We need to keep an eye on what disappears first, Andy's support for Mitch or his hairline. I'm just kidding. Actually, what's disappearing faster is his chance of ever becoming a United States Senator. I like to rag on Andy, but I gotta give him some credit. He did something very, very smart, setting up his bank account in Kiev, and his campaign treasurer is Vladimir Zelensky. I know, but that's why Mitch McConnell keeps sending him checks. God bless you, and God bless Kentucky.
He said that was low. Daniel actually shook his hand, but Andy did not.
Yeah.
But Daniel shook his hand with a little grip of like, that was a little low, dude.
Russell Coleman. Russell Coleman serves
so you don't get to see all that.
Second Attorney General of Kentucky. He previously served as the U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Kentucky. Welcome, Attorney General Coleman.
Yeah.
He's been a friend of the show.
He has. He's been on the show. We've been able to get every elected official. I still ask Andy.
Thank you, Fancy Farm. It's great to be back in West Kentucky, especially to see my 91-year-old grandmother, Betty, here from Mayfield. The weather is hot, not as hot as we expected. The food just as delicious as we always expected. And the people, we're amongst the best in our Commonwealth. And let me pause for a second and note someone who's missing from these great folks today. We're missing Mark Vanderhoff of WLKY from Louisville, who sat in that chair last year. Mark, we're looking forward to having you here next year, roasting us while we're up on this podium. A few weeks ago, friends, I went even further west in the river counties on another hot day, 105 degrees in fact, to Yuma, Arizona, to the southwest border, to listen to our heroes from the United States Border Patrol, to stand with a dozen other Republican attorneys general. Now, we heard from those heroes from the Border Patrol. We saw President Trump's border wall firsthand, and I am proud to report that we now have the most secure border of our lifetimes. Now, for years, Washington Democrats and their open border policies let violent criminals and let dangerous drugs pour across that border and come into this Commonwealth. They turned Kentucky into a border state. But now, friends, we are standing with President Trump, and we are making Kentucky safe again. As your Attorney General, our team are backing the blue. They are keeping our families safe. These men and women who'll be sweating out here in these vests long after we're in our beds tonight, pull them aside, tell them thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's thank the men and women of Kentucky law enforcement. Now, for these heroes, we just announced 2,000 body armor vests for our officers, our deputies, our troopers. And that's thanks to leadership from Republican supermajorities in our General Assembly. We have secured also more than $1 billion to fight the scourge of drugs, and we are locking up criminals, drug traffickers, and those predators who would target our kids. You know, leadership is all about showing up. And the governor? Well, our governor will show up. He'll show up at fancy out-of-state dinners. He will show up at his podcast, most certainly, and he'll show up at flashy Vogue photo shoots. But I have a question for you, Governor. What's wrong with our barbecue here in West Kentucky? Why won't you show up for us? I am sad. I'm sad to see that my friend, Representative Pam Stevenson, isn't here today. I wanted to follow up with her and ask her about that Kentucky law license.
It must be like that one with Michelle Obama.
I will have plenty of time to catch up with her in Frankfurt, friends, because she ain't going anywhere. Speaking of leadership, I could not be more proud of the Republican workhorses that I'm sharing this stage with. Members of our General Assembly, Senator McConnell a moment ago, our statewide officers, our incredible Commissioner of Agriculture and Treasurer, these are public servants with a fire in their belly. And how about that, Congressman Jamie Comer? How about our chairman of the Oversight Committee? He's getting it done in Washington, D.C. It's a great time to be a Republican. It's a great time to be a Kentuckian. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the honor of serving as your Kentucky Attorney General.
Well, we've had him on the show. There's been some really interesting topics that have come out of his office in the last year, and they've done a real good job covering that down.
Shell serves as Agriculture Commissioner for the Commonwealth of Kentucky. He previously served as House Majority Leader in the Kentucky House of Representatives.
Now, Landon, this is Jonathan Shell. He is the Agriculture Commissioner for Kentucky. So all the farmers in the county.
Fancy Farm, it's great to be back in God's country.
It's a big job.
I love St. Jerome's Parish. I love Fancy Farm. I love Kentucky. And I love each and every one of you all. Let me start by telling you a story. Things grow a lot better when Donald Trump is back in charge. Look, under Democrats, it felt like we were living in an episode of the Green New Deal acres. Farmers got ignored, inflation was out of control, and the only thing Washington was producing were excuses. Kentucky farmers know that manure helps things grow. Funny how the Democratic Party's full of it, but all they grew were grocery prices. Under President Trump, we've cut red tape, crushed inflation, and put the American farmer first. President Trump and our new Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, my great friend, have worked together to reinstate an America First trade policy.
that prioritizes the U.S. farmer and manufacturers. And right here in Kentucky, we're leading the way. Our Food is Medicine campaign is highlighting local farmers and protein and produce, helping to make our people healthier and less reliant on pharmaceuticals. We're laser focused on school nutrition, ensuring we make local first options the easiest option, promoting our rural prosperity and putting the health of our kids as a top priority. Agriculture is economic development. And here in Kentucky, we're investing heavy in giving our rural communities and farmers the markets they deserve to compete on a national and global scale. We're not just growing crops here in Kentucky, we're growing opportunity. Even our soybeans are a little taller under President Trump's leadership. But while we're out here feeding America, the Democrats are feeding us nonsense. They're in full meltdown mode nightly on CNN. It's like a vegan at a hot dog eating contest. Angry, confused, and very uncomfortable. And our very own Scott Jennings on CNN is handing them the plate every single night. Thankfully, the Republicans you sent to Frankfurt have been working hard to keep Kentucky free from that nonsense and support President Trump, standing up for your values, protecting your freedoms, and showing the rest of the country how it's done. And now we're looking to 2027. Kentucky needs a governor who'd rather be a guest at Fancy Farm than on the Gavin Newsom podcast. My friends, aren't we ready to send a Republican back to the governor's mansion? Speaking of, I thank God every day for James Comer, but doesn't Governor Comer sound even better? While the left is deleting emails and dodging subpoenas, Comer's been shining a light on corruption, demanding answers, and watching Washington squirm. He's doing Kentucky proud, and the swamp is nervous. Before I wrap up, I want to give you 2 invitations. First, come see us at the Kentucky State Fair, August 14th through the 24th. We'll have the best of Kentucky agriculture on display, and I'd love for you to stop by and say hello. Second, the night before the fair kicks off, August 13th, I'm hosting my commissioner's dinner. It's not just a great meal, it's a great cause, raising money for CASA of Kentucky, and supports foster kids here in Kentucky.
Yep.
Again,
that's
I love you,
something
Fancy
definitely
Farm.
passionate.
I
in
love
our family.
Kentucky.
Yeah, definitely.
I love this crowd. I love what this event means. I am so grateful for you allowing me to serve as your Commissioner of Agriculture. God bless you. God bless our farmers. God bless the United States of America. Thank you so much.
Well, evidently, we can see that there's probably going to be a bid for the governor's seat for the Comer
yeah, I
office.
mean, we've been hearing that behind the scenes that Jamie Comer is likely to run for governor. But this is the first time that I've heard it actually in public.
So we will actually be, the messenger will actually be helping the chamber at the fair
born in Lancaster, Kentucky,
for the chamber
and
booth
served
for
in the
Meade
U.S.
County. And
Army
we're
National Guard.
excited to be
Welcome,
volunteers
Treasurer
this year
Metcalf.
for that.
Yeah, come out to the fair. Come out to the state fair. It's usually a great time.
Here's the money man himself. Here's the money man. This is the money man
Hello,
himself.
Fancy Farm. Thank you, St. Jerome's Parish. This picnic is the premier event in Kentucky politics, and it's our own annual GOP family reunion. It's great to be in West Kentucky, where thanks to Jamie Comer, oversight isn't just a job. It's a principle and a promise that he lives by. We're in God's country today, where barbecue's hot, the people are real, and the Democrats, as usual, are scarce. While Republicans are here facing the voters, Andy Beshear is somewhere else running for president. He's not leading Kentucky, he's running from it. But there's good news. Thanks to President Trump, inflation is nearing 2%. That's the same percentage of Democrats who want Andy to be president in 2028. But don't feel bad for the governor. He's polling high among illegal aliens who want him to give them in-state tuition and treat them better than he treats American citizens. Let's talk about what real leadership is. On our watch, at the Kentucky Treasury, we have returned $60 million in unclaimed property to Kentucky families. It's their money, it's theirs to keep. And there's more, friends. Through smart investments, we've sent nearly $1.4 billion back to the state. Every dollar earned from investments is one less dollar we take from the hardworking families of Kentucky. When Republicans took control in 2017, Kentucky was drowning in debt. Thanks to conservative leadership in the General Assembly, those debts have been cut by more than 300%. Less public debt on the backs of our people means more money in their pockets and a debt-free future for their children and their grandchildren. And when it comes to our native industries, Democrats want to kill coal. They want to cripple natural gas. At the Treasury, we want Kentucky to be the go-to energy state. From the coal fields of the East to the gas wells of the West, from the strength of our mighty rivers to the promise of nuclear power. We don't apologize for our energy, we produce it. Because Republicans know that Kentucky energy means good, high-paying jobs, secure homes, and strong communities. My friends, this fight is not about left versus right. It is about right versus wrong. It's about protecting our jobs, our way of life, and our future. We believe in an America where hard work is honored, where the Constitution is respected, and every child can live a life of dignity. We believe in a Kentucky where faith, family, and freedom come first. That's the Kentucky we love. That's the America we're fighting for. God bless you all. God bless our great Commonwealth. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Well,
Mark Metcalf, everyone.
Yeah, there you go.
He's our treasurer. He's been a great friend to the show.
Thank you so much,
several
Fancy Farm.
times.
Thanks to all of our speakers for being such good sports. I appreciate you all having me. And while I am the first MC to host, let's hope I'm not the last. Have a great weekend.
Well, I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we are so glad you tuned in today to watch this. This is live coverage. We'll close up with a quick recap from you. But, hey, Landon, I want to thank this is Kentucky Talk Kids with Landon Lake.
Yeah.
What did you think?
It was good.
Yeah, what did you think of all the speakers? Were they throwing some zingers out there?
Did it make you feel a little uncomfortable? Yeah, just to hear them talk about.
One of those on there.
One of those did? Yeah.
Was it Nate Morris or? Yeah, he kind of crossed a political line a little bit.
And
I mean, Reagan used to say we don't tear each other down.
Yeah.
It's one thing to have friendly, fun zingers, but to get to a personal level was pretty rough.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
But he did make some very good points as well.
Yeah.
But I just hate to see it deteriorate down to personal.
So, which
things.
group do you think was loudest today? From all the groups that were
the people behind us.
Andy Barr.
Andy Barr's group, yeah. Did you think? What about Daniel Cameron's group and the over here in the red? Did you think that was a pretty loud group? Or
They were like the third loudest.
They were the third loudest.
And what about the protesters? It didn't seem like the protesters were that loud.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was a much smaller group than you would anticipate.
So I think they were more disruptive than they were productive.
I think there was like 5 or 6 people. It sounded like. I didn't see the numbers behind
I honestly
it.
felt like it was in the
sound
60s because if you zoomed in on them, they looked like a group from the 60s during the protests for the Vietnam War. That's what it looked like.
So I think we're going to wrap up here really quick, guys, because there is going to to be like a press gaggle for the speakers, and you're going to be able to go over. We're going to be able to go over and interview things like that.
Absolutely.
So thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely.
I am so happy that we were able to come again. After being away for 1 year,
and we're coming back.
And we're coming back, and we'll come back as long as they'll have us, and as long as that you guys want us to see us out there.
Right.
But thank you guys for joining us today. We really appreciate your support. Please go on and like and share it on your favorite platform. We're on, I think we're on YouTube.
The Messenger.
We're on the Messenger.
Kentucky Talks.
Kentucky Talks. And also, so Landon, you want to take us out? What do you got?
Have a good day, guys.
Yep, he's leading us out. You guys have a great day. We look forward to seeing you soon. Check us out at themessengerky.com or our Facebook at The Messenger KY. This is a production of Meade Media Group and The Messenger Studios. Y'all have a great day from Kentucky Talks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Echo in the dark. Mark and Steve ignite the spark. Dive deep inside the mind. Truths untold we will find. Kentucky Talks loud and clear. No more whispers, no more fear. Breaking chains of silent night. Gloves are off, let's start the fight. Gloves are off, let's start the fight. Stories rise from the air.